Invocation by Honorable Councilor Roberto Cabarig, followed by the singing of Lupang Hinirang and the Cagayan de Oro March. Please rise.
Atong ibutang atong presensya sa Dios, atong kasing-kasing. May mayaon og silimbahon nga Dios, among amahan sa langit, dalaygon ikaw, labaw sa tanang hari. Salamat sa imong gugma nga walay paglubad. Salamat sa grasya nga among nadawat. Ginoo ania kami sa ngalan sa 21st City Council of Cagayan de Oro, alang sa regular session. Mga muyo uban sa mga pag-ampo Ginoo. Nga unta imo kaming gamiton sa imong kabubuton. Nga ang among mabuhat, ang imong plano, ang kalinaw, gugma ug panaghiusa alang sa paglambo sa among nasod, dakbayan ug katawhan. Busa giyahi kami Ginoo sa ngalan ni Hesus. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiging sa sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nanagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit o bagaw. Ginatang tula, kawin sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iindig. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magtitindig. Lumalang araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang higaya ng pagkay mga amin, ang mamatay
Please be seated. Mr. Secretary, please do the roll call.
Honorable City Vice Mayor Jocelyn B. Rodriguez, Presiding Officer. For the First District Councilors, Honorable Desiree Ann M. Dahino, Honorable Roger G. Abaday, Honorable Juancho R. Pascual, Honorable Agapito Heriberto G. Swan, Honorable George Christopher Q. Goking, Honorable Moreno Valdaba de Ford, Honorable Al P. Ligaspi Sr., Honorable Amy Rose P. Moreno. For the second district councilors, Honorable Ibuna Yasini B. Imano, Honorable Maximo T. Rodriguez III, Honorable Paulo Nicolo Gaani, Honorable Jolen Mercedes L. Balaba, Honorable Yanlam S. Lim, Honorable Enrico D. Salcedo, Honorable Hilda Ogu, Honorable Edgar S. Cabanlas. For the ex-officio members, Honorable Marlo L. Tabak, Liga ng mga Barangay President, Honorable Kenneth Jan D. Sacala, City SK Federation President, and Honorable Dato Roberto P. Cabaring, IPMR. There is 100% attendance, Madam Presiding Officer.
Motion is hereby carried. Very good, huh? 100%. So that's a very good with a 100% attendance. So may hapon, honorables of the 21st City Council, may hapon kaninyo. Of course, Mr. Secretary, may hapon, and the Sangguniang staff who are here, our friends from media, those who are watching us via live stream right now. So maayong hapon. So belated Happy Mother's Day, mga mothers. Huh?
Sure.
Yes. Hope you enjoyed the celebration yesterday. Mother. Isa pa yung mother dire. Okay. So let's proceed with the agenda of the day. The ever good looking. Look at Majority Floor Leader Attorney Edgar Cabanlas. Yes. You have the floor. Abogado gid ba?
Thank you. Thank you very much to our the ever active Vice Mayor Cagayan de Oro, Vice Mayor Jocelyn Bibo Rodriguez, mga kauban ko sa konseho, mga gwapo. Ako rin di gwapo. Gwapa, gwapo. Friends, we have in the gallery people of Cagayan de Oro who are watching us in the respective social media outlets. Maayong hapon sa tanan. Turks and company, may hapon. Madam Chair, may I move to dispense the reading of the minutes of the previous regular session of this council on May 4, 2026 and consider the furnishing copies thereof as reading itself.
And a second. Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second and final reading.
Second. Objection. Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
On the special report portion of our session today, Madam Chair, there are 4 members of the City Council who intend to render special report. First, Councilor Marlo L. Tabak with regards to the update on the sale of 20 peso per kilo rice at the National Food Authority warehouse at Baloy, Tablon. Councilor Enrico D. Salcedo with regards to Sipalco rate increase. Councilor Joylene Mercedes L. Balaba, proposal to declare Sersolim as heritage site. And number 4 would be Councilor Roger Abaday with regards to the Games Committee. That would be the sequence, Madam Chair. May I request that Councilor Tabak be called first, Madam Chair?
Councilor Marlo Tabak, you have the floor.
Thank you. Maayong hapon, Madam Presiding Officer, Majority Floor Leader, and the Minority Floor Leader and the member of this 21st City Council, sa atong mga kagayanon nga mga nagtanaw karon live stream o sa mga bisita nga naa sa gallery. Madam Chair, last April 13, this representation delivered a special report regarding the long line of our constituents buying the 20 pesos kilo rice at the National Food Authority. Because of that special report, Madam Chair, I will commend the Committee on Trade and Commerce, led by Kagawad George Christopher Goking, Councilor E.B. Imano, Councilor Agapito Swan, Councilor Roger Abaday, Councilor Jaime Moreno, Councilor Maximo Rodriguez III, for attending the committee hearing of the issue concerned. And we would like also to give our commendation to Director Jesus Bear, Provincial Director, Misamis Oriental Department of Trade and Industry, represented by Lorraine Bilriantes. Mr. Miguel Texon, Regional Director of the National Food Authority, represented by Rejoice Undi, Assistant Regional Director, and the staff. Ms. Eliza Marie Gonzalez, via Zoom, representative from Food Terminal Incorporated. Engineer Bernie Daba, officer in charge of the City Agriculture Office. Attorney Jose Igay Uy, the chairman of the Price Coordinating Council. Attorney Kenneth Tamala, represented by Attorney Reka Eliza Medina. And Attorney Roy Hilario Ragas, or City Administrator, represented by Victor Alvarez. During the hearing, the prevailing situation of the NFA were thoroughly discussed of the committee. And because of that, the National Food Authority and the Terminal Food Incorporated redesigned the distribution of numbers. Karon, Madam Chair, malipayon kita nga wala na'y atong mga kaigsuunan nga galinya gawas sa NFA matag buntag hapon gabi ug kadlaw. Buti pasabot naka-establish na ang National Food Authority o ang Terminal Food Incorporated ug usa ka sistema sulod sa compound sa National Food Authority. And I am very happy also to commend Vice Mayor Bibot Rodriguez for sending tent nga nakatabang the city government sa mga monoblocks nga kalingkuran sa atong mga kaigsuunan nga gapalit sa 20 pesos nga kilos nga bugas diha sa NFA. Tungod niini, kami nga mga kabaranggayan nagpasalamat sa tibuok pwersa sa nasyonal ug lokal nga kagamhanan for the quick response nga atong nakit-an nga hanay na. Wala ta niingon nga walay galinya pero nahanay na ang atong mga mamalitay sulod sa compound sa National Food Authority. Karon, Mr. Chair, Madam Presiding Officer, mibarog na usab kita tungod kay atong pangitaon ang ikaduha nga action sa atong committee report mao ang pagpalit sa syudad sa NFA Rice aron ang syudad maunay makabaligya ngadto sa kabaranggayan nga mo'y gipaabot sa atong katawhan. Hoping the Committee on Agriculture led by Councilor Antoy Pascual can conduct a committee hearing para matanaw because the Agricultural Office is member of the technical working group created para matun-an, maplastar unsaon pagpalit sa syudad. Importante kaayo, Madam Chair, nga madala ngadto sa kabaranggayan ang pagbaligya. Tungod sa kamahal sa presyo karon ug sa grabe nga kainit sa panahon. Maayo unta nga didto na sa kabaranggayan ang pagbaligya ug na-establish na kini during sa committee hearing. Hoping the Committee on Agriculture and the Committee on Trade and Commerce can conduct another hearing para mapaluap og unsa na ang status sa pagpalit kay naa may mga requirements nga gihatag ang National Food Authority o ang Terminal Food Incorporated before maka-avail ang syudad pagpalit og sinako nga bugas dito sa Food Terminal Incorporated aron usab mabaligya diha sa atong kabaranggayan. Nang hinaot this representation nga ang atong gihangyo ang duha ka committee para mapaluap na nato og unsay status atong action taken during my first special report. Thank you ug maayong hapon kanatong tanan.
Thank you very much. Very good. Yes, Councilor Chris Goking.
Hi. What was pending was the comments sa City Legal sa MOA. So they received the most recent draft of it last Thursday. So today, wapas sila ka-produce a comment pero ato na i-follow up kung pwede na nila mapaspas within the week.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilor Eric Salcedo, then Councilor Janchen Rodriguez.
Mayroong hapon, Madam Chair. Salamat. Query lang sa good reporter, Madam Chair, kung na-increase ba ang allocation sa NFA kay I hope wala ko masayo ba? 600 ba to? 500 per 5 kilos? 10 kilos? 10 kilos. Remember, Madam Chair, ang population sa Cagayan de Oro is more than 800,000 ka tao. Kanang 500 nga allocation, Madam Chair, sigurado gikukulang kayo na sa dapat unta i-appeal kung mag-committee meeting na ang atong agriculture, Committee on Agriculture and Commerce and Trade. Ang yun na to ang NFA nga madungagan ang allocation sa Cagayan de Oro kay kana mo kung 500, Madam Chair, murag talo ra gid na ba nga respetar lang nga na 20 pesos nga rice nga gibaligya, Madam Chair, sigon sa gipangsaad kaniadto during sa election. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Yes, Councilor Janjan Rodriguez.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair. And for the benefit of our colleagues here, we had our committee hearing the past 2 weeks, no, regarding this. Ang gihulatan lang yun is the MOA. Unsa man ang MOA, it should be signed by our mayor, of course, and as part of the city council, the vice mayor, and also the NFA. So I would like to ask our Trade and Commerce Committee Chair kung asa na dapit karon ang MOA, because that is very crucial para kay ang problema man gyud sa NFA ug sa Food Terminal Incorporated is kulang gid ilang tao, Madam Chair. So every day 500 na ginakabuok per day. Now, wala pa ganito naghiskot regarding sa patag na warehouse. So I want to know also from our good chairman sa atong Trade and Commerce kung as you mentioned earlier, past few weeks na nanatay go signal sa patag. But then again, ang concern sa FTI at the same time the NFA is gusto na po nila manghangyo sa LGU sa gasolina sa pagkuha sa mga bugas gikan sa baloy na warehouse. So that's the second, no? First the MOA, then the second is our logistics, ang problema sa logistics. And third is nakita naman nato, no, medyo nag-rollback naman ng gasolina, siguro makahatag buta sa part sa LGU. Ang ako na lang is mapaspasan nato ang atong pag-follow up gyud sa MOA kay because from there the Food Terminal Incorporated at the same time the NFA will already give the allocation for LGU Cagayan de Oro. Kaya ang uban mga LGUs, Madam Chair, labi na sa Misamis Oriental, naghimo na sila ginana. So, ang atong gusto gud mahitabo is together with the City LGU, together with our NFA, at the same time mga kabaranggayans, dito nato ibaligya same price, 20 pesos per kilo gyapon sa mga batag barangay dinhi sa syudad. Kana lang, Mr. Chair. Madam
Okay,
Chair.
thank you very much, Councilor Janjan Rodriguez. Yes, Councilor Chris Goking.
I'll repeat lang that the MOA is just arrived sa City Legal last Thursday. And then regarding the provisions as to Patag, what we discussed sa committee meeting, it would be delegated to the Price Coordinating Council. But then right after that meeting, there was an executive order reassigning this technical working group and re-establishing the members. So wala na appeal ang Trade and Commerce and ang CPCC. It is now City Agriculture. So ang APO. So we have to request for an update from their end. Kay wala na matay apilan na. So we'll get updates on that this week.
Okay, so yes, Councilor Antoy. Okay, thank you very much.
Hello, thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, everyone, and fellow councilors of the 21st City Council. While there are operational concerns that must immediately be addressed, we should recognize that the Benteng Bigas program was created to help struggling families cope with rising food prices. For many ordinary citizens, even a small reduction in rice prices greatly helps daily survival. The challenge now is not whether the program should continue, but how we improve the system so assistance reaches people efficiently, safely, and with dignity. So with that, I support Councilor Tabak to helping whatever we can do with this issue.
But then, but then it will be in under your committee now, correct? So then you have the full responsibility now to follow up everything. And of course, the logistics, so that it can be facilitated.
No problem.
I think, Vice Mayor, it would fall closer to the jurisdiction ni Councilor Pascual kay City Agree naman. So, out of my hands na.
Okay.
What mo kasi gyapon ko?
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, of course. So, paspasan na lang ni mo, Councilor Antoy. Okay, okay, thank you very much. Our next reporter is Councilor Eric Salcedo. You have the floor.
Salamat pag-usab, Madam Chair. To our Honorable City Mayor, Jocelyn Bibot Rodriguez, to my fellow Honorable City Councilor, ug sa tanang katawan sa Dakbayan sa Cagayan de Oro. Mayong hapon kanatong tanan. Dagang mga konsumante sa Cagayan de Oro Electric Power and Light Company or Sipalco ang nagpahayag sa ilang kabalaka o sentimiento may tungod sa kalit sa ug dako nga pagtaas sa ilang bayronon sa kuryente. Base sa mga billing statements sa atong makita sa screen. Ito. Klaro og adunay dakong kausaban sa ilang gibayran. Sumala sa mga tag-iyan niini nga mga billing o dili na nato pangalanan ang ilang pribasiya, dako kayo ang nadugang sa ilang bayronon karong bulana sa Abril. Tinuod nga adunay pagtaas sa ilang konsumo sa kuryente apan dili usab nato malimod. Dako og mabugat ang pagsaka sa presyo sa kuryente base diri sa isa ka billing lahi na konsumante, Madam Chair, ang iyang consumption sa bulan sa Marso naa lamang sa 345 kilowatt per hour ug ang iyang nabayaran sa para sa generation of transmission revenues subtotal kay 2,952. Apan pag-abot sa bulan sa Abril, imbis unta ni ubos ang iyang consumption ngadto sa 338 kilowatt per hour, niabot din noon sa kapin kun kulang og 3,102 ang iyang nabayaran sa generation of transmission revenues subtotal. Ang napakaguol pagayod, Madam Chair, mao'y walay igo nga paybalo gikan sa Sipalco may tungod sa pagtaas sa ilang electric rates. Tungod niini, akong gisang-at kining usa ka resolusyon magpatawag sa management sa Sipalco aron makahatag sila og klaro detalyadong eksplanasyon alang sa kaybalo sa tanang konsumante sa atong dakbayan. Base sa rules and practice sa procedure sa Energy Regulatory Commission, required ang distribution utilities sama sa Sipalco nga number 1, publication sa application sa rate increase. Number 2, notice sa affected consumers. Ug number 3, public hearing aysa ang approval, Madam Chair. Ang Sipalco lamang ang mo-file application naa sa ERC ang otoridad sa pag-approve sa mao nga application. I would like to submit a resolution, Madam Chair, requesting the Honorable City Mayor Rolando A. Oy to create local energy board pursuant to the City Ordinance number 14192-2021 or the Local Energy Code of Cagayan de Oro. Katungod sa matag konsumante nga may bawal-an og masabtan nga nganong misaka ang ilang gibayran sa kuryente. Ang transparency kinahanglan ipatuman aron maprotektahan ang interest sa katawan, Madam Chair. Daghang salamat, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, Councilor Roger Abaday, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Presiding Officers, my colleagues, and District Council. Salamat kayo sa good reporter, no, kay iya gigining gi-brought in public labi na dinhi sa atong anwanan kay daghan usab mga katawhan nato labi na kita naintungdan nga anong kalit lang gisaka ang kining collection sa Sipalco. The timing is undeniably difficult, no? For us, consumer, especially sa mga average consumer. Wala pa mahupas ang pag-ilaid sa mga tao karon sa kalisod, no? Because of the current economic climate. Ang pangutana kung ang kanang gihimo sa Sipalco is reasonable, and that is the thing that we have to discuss. No? The thing that we have to find out whether that is reasonable or not. Now, I am asking the good reporter kung kanang ilang increase kanang naasa karon sa nasa ilang bill, wa mo kabasa kay di mo ko tigbayad og unsa man na siya kining unsa man nga increase, generation increase or pass on increase. Duwa man ni ka gi-split man ning collection sa Sipalco, duwa ang kining generation charge o kining pass on charges. So unsa may namutang diha sa kanang sa resibo? Naman siguro sa resibo.
Yes, Councilor Eric Salcedo.
Ang nakabutang, Madam Chair, is ang generation, Madam Chair. Lugar, klaro man kayo sa palisiya nga, kung generation lugar, pwede nga, dili na lugar mag-conduct o public hearing, kung generation, o transmission. Pero mas gwapo magudto, Madam Chair, nga maklaro ginato sa ila nga gikan sa Sipalco kung unsa ni nga increase. Kay basin mingon sila generation tungod sa fuel. Pero duman na to, Madam Chair, hinahinay sa ubos ang atong fuel. Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Kay under the rule, kung kaning gitawag lang nga pass-through charges, there is no need for petition. Eksakto atong report, no? There is no need for petition. Labi na kang most monthly fluctuation sa atong bill sa Sipalco due to generation transmission charges. So, ang kaning pass on or through principal cost, this is the cost like karon na increase atong fuel or gas globally. So Sipalco is allowed to pass this cost to us, no, automatically, because under the ARC, Energy Regulatory Commission approves this formula in 2016 March, just this March 2026. The ERC has tightened the rules due to the national energy emergency. Now, if this pass-through cost jump by more than 1 peso kilowatt per hour in a single month, Sipalco must now report the basis of his increase to ERC at least 5 days before the billing period. So, another charges, kaning distribution charge. If that charges kanang charge karon sa Sipalco is distribution charge, petition is mandatory. So this is the portion of the bill kaning distribution charge. This is the portion of the bill sa atong bill sa kuryente that actually goes to Sipalco for its operation, maintenance, and profit. So the rule is if the rate is fixed, Sipalco cannot change it without filing a formal rate application with the ERC. So, under our regulatory oversight, Sipalco cannot just simply decide on the whims or sudden capricious increase. That requires a lengthy petition. It requires them to petition to the ERC and include public hearings, including the LGUs and other consumers, so that there is a time for them to raise any questions with regard to the increase, Madam Chair.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
That will be enlightened and straightened out when the committee hearing under public utilities. Councilor Roger. Councilor Eric Salcedo. Okay, refer to the committee. Our next reporter is Councilor Roger Abaday. You have the floor. Oh, sorry. Councilor Girly Balaba, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good afternoon. Our
Afternoon.
presiding officer, Vice Mayor Bebot Rodriguez, to all my colleagues, to all our staff and employees, and to all our guests today. I am not here to ignite further, Madam Chair, the issues regarding the development of Manresa and the opposition of the alumni group of Xavier University. That is something that should be resolved in another avenue. But rather, I am here to ask this august body to act on the preservation of one of the structures in Manresa that has been considered considered a historical heritage by the National Historical Commission of the Philippines. So what are the criteria, you may ask, for NHCP to declare a structure or building as historical heritage? One, it must have demonstrable historical significance, one that has clear connection to important historical events, heroes, or illustrious Filipinos. Two, its age. The building must be at least 50 years old. Three, the structure must retain 70% of its original materials, form, character, and design. And number four, the structure should not have undergone major modifications or renovations. Having said that, Madam Chair, inside Manresa is the Sirsalin Building, or the Southeast Asia Rural Social Leadership Institute, founded in 1964 by Jesuit priest Father William Masterson, S.J., during a period when many Asian countries were facing poverty, weak rural governance, social inequality, and underdevelopment. Because of his work in rural leadership and agricultural development through Sirsalin and Xavier University, Father Masterson later received the prestigious Ramon Magsaysay Award. The building itself, Madam Chair, inspired by brutalist architecture, was erected in year 1972. So it must be the same as my age. It must be about 54 years old by now. By this year, 54. Tama ba akong math? So now this is when the City Council should step in. Whether or not we allow the preservation or conservation or adaptive reuse or demolition of this structure right in the midst of the ongoing development in Manresa. Can we, yes, that's the picture today. That's the latest picture of the aerial view of the development or the undergoing development or construction in Manresa. And there's the building there, that's the Sirsalin. That photo is grabbed from Cagayan de Oro Today page. They might call out my attention na wala na ko sila gi-credit. So that's from the Cagayan de Oro Today page. As we all know, the agreement between Xavier University and the Cebu Land Master Incorporated for the development of its campus in the downtown area is to preserve the 8 buildings inside, which are already considered as important cultural property or ICP. Kung graduate ka sa Xavier, familiar ka ani sa mga buildings. Ang una, ang chapel. Number 2, the old library. Number 3, the new library. Number 4, the Science Center. Number 5, Museo de Oro. Number 6, the Xavier Hall. Number 7, Campion Hall. And number 8, Lucas Hall. So dili na sila mahilabtan. Sirsalin in Manresa was not included. But it is presumed as an ICP, having met one of the criteria that the building must be over 50 years old. And not only that, Madam Chair, the building symbolizes the Jesuit mission of forming leaders for social justice and community service, something that we, as present leaders of the city, should embody in the midst of all these corruption issues, Maleta issues, ghost projects issues, that embattled our government. Demolishing the structure could mean losing an important physical reminder of that institutional history, forming leaders of character and a community committed to helping the poor and advancing social development. We need a balanced approach in this matter, of course, Madam Chair and my dear colleagues. Preserved historically significant portions while allowing compatible development in Manresa. So with this, Madam Chair, I join with the city's Historical and Cultural Commission's position that while Sirsalin has not been officially registered in the Philippine Registry of Heritage, the NHCP has made its first endorsement of its position that the authority and the decision now rests upon us, the City Council, whether we declare the Sirsalin building as an ICP, thereby act on its preservation or opt for its adaptive reuse, or we declare it as insignificant and act for its demolition. But this representation, Madam Chair, is hoping for the former. We preserved or opt for the adaptive reuse of Sirsalin. So it is my prayer, Madam Chair, since this issue in question has been tackled in the 20th City Council, chaired by our former colleague, former Councilor J. Pascual, and has undergone a series of committee hearings that we take from the table and move for a committee meeting on the whole, so as that other members can participate and challenge the position of each party, the NHCP, the City Historical Cultural Commission, the Xavier University, and the Cebu Landmasters Incorporated. That will be all, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any comment? Councilor Roger Abaday?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. This is in additional information stated by our good reporter, Councilor Girly Balaba. No? Now, there is a law no, under the Philippine Cultural Heritage Act of 10066. The Sirsalin is considered as a presumed heritage. The under 50-year rule. So the building that are at least 50 years old are technically considered important cultural property, unless otherwise stated. Now, since Sirsalin was founded in 1964, making it roughly 62 years old, it qualifies for presumptive protection. This means it is treated with a degree of respect and protection under the law, even if it hasn't had a formal marker ceremony yet. Question: now it is undergoing renovation and demolition, part of it. Is there any legal basis to protect that area, that building? It requires a major changes, no, to be cleared with National Commission for Cultural and Arts, the NCAA. So therefore, I know that there is a pending case now filed by concerned mga alumni association with regards to the demolition of Sirsalin. So it is legally protected under the law, Madam Chair and my colleague. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. So refer to the committee. No, tourism. Okay, Councilor Girly Balaba, you have the floor.
Yes, Madam Chair, I was suggesting that it should be a committee on the whole, because
Okay.
this has been tackled,
Committee as a whole.
the whole not yet, by the committee only, not yet. But this has been tackled. I would like to ask that take the issue from table, because it has been there's been committee hearings conducted during the 20th City Council.
Okay, yes, may I allow Majority Floor Leader Attorney Edgar Cabanlas, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. basically, there is something going on now about this topic, about this issue. And if we will be tackling this in the committee of the whole, there is a presumption that it should be resolved immediately because you cannot convene the committee of the whole for 1 week. I mean, it has to be referred to the committee of tourism first. Parang they have all the time, and it is easy to convene because there are only 7 members. Now, it was taken up during the time of Councilor J. Pascual, but there was no report. So we will have to finish this with the present committee of tourism, and because there will be a hearing. It's like a hearing. You have to hear many sides. You have to hear the side of Xavier University where they are interested of this proclamation declaring this building as a committee of the whole. You have to respect their idea, their position. You cannot just declare any building here as a heritage building if the owner is, you do not hear the position of the owner. And second, what is the social and cultural value of that building? Because Sirsulin was created as the idea of Father Masterson to help Southeast Asian nations, including Africa, on social justice, leadership training. Nawala naman aron. I mean, building na lang nabilin, pero I think the project it has not continued, and we did not hear anything about this as of today. Nawala na. So during the time of Father Masterson, I think there was this need for social justice. Kaya katong panahon na, labi na itong panahon sa martial law. Pero karon muraog daghan mo kayo kanang mga organization, government institutions dealing on social justice. So ato sa pamation karon ang sa side sa tourism, sila sa ang mag-convene kay aron tanan side mapamatian nato. Kay kung kita, Vice Mayor, kitang tanan murot atong panahon tana.
Okay.
So I propose that what would be the result of that committee hearing by the tourism committee, then we adopt or we reject.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much, Councilor Girly Balaba. You have the floor.
Yes, Madam Chair, I ano lang, just like to not actually contradict, no, but there has been a position made by the Xavier University, the NHCP, and of course, City Cultural Commission regarding the Sirsulin during the term of City Councilor J. Pascual. That is why the NHCP said that its first endorsement, of course, let's talk about Xavier University. Xavier University's stand on this Sirsulin is to demolish it. No, it has no cultural heritage, or I don't know, but no value for them. And then if we they said if we go for adaptive reuse, they do not have the money to maintain that building. So that's the position of Xavier University. The position of NHCP, based on the committee hearings conducted by Councilor J. Pascual, the first endorsement is the NHCP's first endorsement reinforces this position, emphasizing the city's authority to make such a determination that while Sirsulin, the City Council plays a crucial role in determining the future status of Sirsulin, should the council decide to protect the structure, the aforementioned officer shall proceed with its registration in the PRH. So the recommendation of the NHCP is not mandated to reconsider its recommendation to adaptively reuse the Reserve building. Instead, the city government is entrusted with the decision to declare the building as having or not having local historical, cultural, and architectural significance. That's their position, Madam Chair.
Okay.
So if we conduct another committee meeting, we would just be balik-balik lang.
But actually, with the committee hearing, Councilor Antoy can facilitate it. Councilor Gurley, yes, you can. Yes, a majority floor leader.
I mean, we can have a timeline here.
Yes, timeline.
Give them 2 weeks to finish the committee hearing together with Councilor Balaba. Parang abdali lang because there are new membership here. During the time of Councilor J, lain mo itong mga members na to. We have new members now. Lain mo itong City Council.
Yeah.
Ito sa 28th City Council.
Yeah, actually it
so-
depends on you, Councilor Gurley. If you want it fast,
Yeah,
do it.
Para,
As soon as possible.
okay?
So we will refer to your committee. It depends on you now how fast you will be able to have a decision and bring it to the plenary for
And
approval.
Everybody will be invited.
Yes.
To attend.
Uh-huh. Are you okay with that? Yes, Councilor Gurley Balaba. Okay ra. Dara gina nimo, Councilor Gurley. Make it fast. And Councilor Andoy? Yes, Councilor Gurley.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, because I'll be on leave starting this week. I would just like to entrust the committee hearing to my vice chair,
Who is the vice chair?
Councilor Antoy.
Okay, make it fast,
Antoy
Councilor
Pascual.
Antoy.
And then Councilor Abaday said by the time I'm back,
Approve na.
wala na, demolished na.
That's why. That's precisely why you make it fast. It depends on the councilor, how fast you can make a report, how fast you can do the committee hearing. So we rely on Councilor Antoy Pascual, of course, of the committee hearing. Kay gihatag man sa imo, okay? So it depends on you now. Okay. So thank you very much. Our next speaker, Councilor Roger Abaday, you have the floor.
Thank you very much again, Madam Presiding Officer and my distinguished colleagues. I rise on a question of personal privilege. Now, this representation currently as chairman of the Committee of Peace and Order and Public Safety, chairman of Committee on Games and Amusement, vice chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee, and vice chairman of the Senior Citizens Committee. Beyond these committee responsibilities, this representation also serves as the co-chairperson together with the Honorable City Mayor of the City Anti-Drug Abuse Council or CADAC. Co-chairperson of the City Peace and Development Council, CPDC, as a member of the People's Law Enforcement Board or PLEB. Now, the trust reposed upon this representation through these numerous responsibilities is deeply valued and sincerely appreciated. However, leadership likewise requires humility, self-awareness, and the courage to recognize when the demands of public service call for necessity or necessary adjustment in order to preserve efficiency, effectiveness, and highest standard of service of our constituent. At present, the weight of multiple responsibilities, overlapping schedules, and the growing demands of governance have made it increasingly challenging to attend to every obligation with the full attention and dedication to each office rightfully deserves. And while this representation has always endeavored to fulfill every duty with utmost commitment, I firmly believe that public office is never about accumulating positions. It is about delivering genuine, responsive, and effective public service. For almost 3 terms, this representation has faithfully served as chairman of the Committee on Games and Amusement. I have carried this responsibility with honor, dedication, and unwavering commitment. But leadership is not measured by how long one holds a position. Rather, it is measured by one's willingness to place the interests of the institution above personal retention of authority. In the spirit of shared leadership, institutional growth, and democratic participation, this representation respectfully manifests the decision to relinquish the chairmanship of the Committee on Games and Amusement. This is not an act of withdrawal, but an act of responsible leadership, opening the door for other members of this august body, especially to our newer colleagues, to exercise leadership, contribute fresh perspective, and gain valuable experience in handling committee responsibilities. Accordingly, I respectfully move at the proper time that the position of the chairman of Committee on Games and Amusement be declared vacant, considering that there are pending matters requiring immediate attention with the committee. I likewise respectfully propose that an election of the new chairman be conducted at the soonest as possible time, subject to the wisdom and sound discretion of this august body, in order to ensure continuity of service and avoid any disruption in the discharge of the committee's function. Finally, this representation conveys gratitude to this august body for trust, confidence, and opportunity granted to me to serve in such capacity for a considerable period of time. The experience has been both meaningful and humbling, and I remain fully committed to continuing my service to the people in every capacity entrusted to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councilor Roger Abaday. Nano man na imo sentimiento? Nano man na imo sentimiento? Unsa man ka na rason? We ga-attend. So anyway, you have to discuss, no? Yes, Majority Floor Leader, Attorney Edgar Cabanlas.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. We will pass a resolution at the end of the part of the other matters. Resolution declaring the position vacant, chairmanship of the
Games and
Game
Amusement.
and Amusement. Then we will have 1 week to deliberate on this, the majority side, and we will have the final decision next session of the
Okay,
council.
okay. Thank you very much. So, basin kay sige ko object, kaduha, object, katulo. Okay. So anyway, let us proceed. Majority Floor Leader, Attorney Edgar Cabanlas.
Undangon na nakita ng kantyaw.
Ayun yung kantsawa.
Madam Chair, thank you very much. We proceed to the business of the day. Item 1, proposed resolution number 2026-328 confirming the appointment of Mr. Eneas Vicente Acot as City Government Department Head 2, City Civil Registrar of the Office of the City Civil Registrar of the City with all rights and privileges apportioned thereto. I move for the approval of this resolution, Madam Chair.
Any second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Do we have the presence of Mr.
Mr. Acot, yes, Mr. Acot is here. Yes.
So there's no need for us to
Is there any question for Mr.
Right.
Acot's appointment?
in interpolation or
Any interpellation?
Lana. So
Okay, So, okay na, Mr. Akot,
Okay na.
congratulations and thank you for coming.
So,
Okay.
anak ni siya ni Chari Akot, attorney Akot, Chari, the former city councilor before. Oh.
Soriano.
Panahon nila ni Tagarda, Soriano, Tenex Araula, Constantino Idragas, Kabakungan, Constantino Kabakungan.
Okay, anyway,
So, move to
congratulations
approve.
again. Mr. Akot, yes, move to approve. Any
Move to
second?
approve.
Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve second final reading.
Second, objection. Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 2, proposed resolution number 2026-329 declaring as operative in its entirety, effective on the date fixed therein, resolution number 8, series of 2026 of the Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay Taglimaw, the city, covering its supplemental budget number 1 for CY 2026 with an estimated income of 1,160,877 pesos. May I request Councilor Kenneth Jan Sakala be recognized, Madam Chair.
Councilor Kenneth Sakala, you recognize.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I move to approve proposed resolution number 2026-329. Thank you.
Any second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve second final reading.
Second, objection. Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 3, proposed resolution number 2026-330, interposing no objection to the proposed construction of perimeter fence of Regency Plains Subdivision, Phase 3, located in Barangay Iponan, the city, subject to the compliance of laws, rules, and regulations imposed by the city and other agencies. May I request Councilor Christopher Goking be recognized, Madam Chair.
Councilor Chris Goking, you recognize.
Move for the approval of proposed resolution number 2026-330.
Second, objection. Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve second final reading.
Second, objection. Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 4, Turks, please.
Item number 4 is proposed ordinance number 2026-245, appropriating the sum of 1,483,226 pesos and 60 centavos from the item non-office general public services sector special purpose fund terminal leave benefits monetization of leave credits earmarked for Miss Evelyn Veronica S. Bombillo, supervising administrative officer, office of the city health officer in the 2026 annual budget, to be made available for the payment of the terminal leave fee of the herein specified personnel of the office of the city health officer this city, to wit: 1. Marisa J. Malino, last date of service November 2, 2025, with an allocation of 431,600 pesos and 4 centavos. 2. Sing Teofi I. Gamulo, medical technologist 3, last date of service April 1, 2025, with an allocation of 676,760 pesos and 33 centavos. 3. Rico S. Hakutin, City Government Department Head 2, last date of service February 28, 1998, with an allocation of 276,744 pesos and 44 centavos. 4. Michael James C. Perez, Nurse 2, last date of service October 1, 2024, with an allocation of 83,231 pesos and 88 centavos. And lastly, Maria Lara C. Ranis, Medical Technologist 2, last date of service March 25, 2022, with an allocation of 14,889 pesos and 91 centavos.
Madam Chair, may I request Councilor Yan Lamlim be recognized?
Councilor Yan Lamlim, you recognize.
Madam Chair, may hapon sa tanan. I move for the approval of ordinance number 2026-245.
Any second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second final reading.
Second, objection. Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 5, Turks.
Item number 5 is proposed ordinance number 2026-246, appropriating the sum of 29,771 pesos from the savings of the item personal services, salaries and wages, regular under item number 1, City Government Department Head 2 of the Office of the City Education and Development Officer of the city for the period January 1 to 8, 2026, in the 2026 annual budget to be made available for the payment of the unpaid salary differential for the period October 2024 to August 2025 of the herein specified personnel of the Office of the City Education and Development Officer, this city, due to step increment and salary adjustment to it. 1. Jonah L. Galwa, Administrative Officer 4, in the amount of 25,036 pesos. And Shaira P. Sabugaa, Administrative Officer 3, in the amount of 4,735 pesos.
Madam Chair, may I request Councilor Enrico De Salcido be recognized?
Councilor Eric Salcedo, you recognize?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Proposed ordinance number 2026-246. I move for the approval, Madam Chair.
And a second. Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve second final reading.
And any second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 6, proposed ordinance number 2026-247, authorizing the city accountant, the city, to charge a sum of 18,000 to the item maintenance and other operating expenses, other maintenance and operating expenses under the Office of the City Mayor, Social Auxiliary Programs and Services, City Sports and Development Program, in the 2026 annual budget to cover payment of the reimbursement of the fidelity bond for CY 2025 of Mr. Albi Krishwaga, Officer in Charge, City Sports and Development Commission. Madam Chair, may I request Councilor Des Dahino be recognized?
Councilor Des Dahino, you recognize?
Maayong hapon, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of proposed ordinance number 2026-247.
Any second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve second final reading.
Second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 7, Turks.
Item 7 is proposed ordinance number 2026-248, authorizing the city accountant, this city, to charge the sum of 41,367 pesos and 18 centavos to the item maintenance and other operating expenses, other maintenance and operating expenses in the 2026 annual budget of the Office of the City Mayor to cover payment of the unpaid actual services rendered by the herein specified job order personnel of the said office for the period December 2025 to wit. 1. Jose Ramel P. de la Pina, Administrative Age 6, with an amount of 5,873 pesos and 20 centavos. 2. Arturo Unabia Figuracion Jr., with an amount of 4,397 pesos and 70 centavos. 3. Nick P. Rulio, Administrative Age 6, with an appropriation of 11,746 pesos and 40 centavos. 4. Daisy M. Yagong, Administrative Age 2, 9,674 pesos and 94 centavos. And Marlon N. Paza, Administrative Age 2, with an allocation of 9,674 pesos and 94 centavos.
Madam Chair, may I request Councilor Antoy Pascual be recognized?
Councilor Antoy Pascual, you recognize?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to approve proposed ordinance number 2026-248.
Second. Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second final reading.
Second. Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 8, Turks, please.
For omnibus approval, item 8A and B. Item 8A, proposed ordinance number 2026-249, authorizing the Honorable City Mayor Lando A. Uy, representing the City Government of Cagayan de Oro, to enter into and sign the Memorandum of Agreement with the Commission on Population and Development, Regional Office Number 10, represented by its Regional Director Neil Aldrin G. Umiga, covering the financial grant of 100,000 pesos to the City Government of Cagayan de Oro for winning third place under the city category of the 2025 National Rafael M. Salas Kaunlarang Pantao Award under the terms and conditions stipulated therein. And 8B, proposed ordinance number 2026-250, authorizing the Honorable City Mayor Rolando A. representing the City Government of Cagayan de Oro to enter into and sign the Memorandum of Agreement with the Commission on Population and Development, Regional Office Number 10, represented by its Regional Director Neil Aldrin G. Umiga, covering the financial grant of 75,000 pesos to the city government of Cagayan de Oro for winning the first place under the city category of the 2025 Regional Rafael M. Salas Kaunlarang Pantao Award under the terms and conditions stipulated therein.
Madam Chair, may I request Councilor Girly Balaba be recognized?
Councilor Girly Balaba, you recognize?
Yes, Madam Chair, I move for the approval of proposed ordinance number 2026-249 and ordinance number 2026-250.
Any second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second final reading.
Second, objection. Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 9, proposed ordinance number 2026-251, accepting the offer of Pueblo de Oro Development Corporation, represented by its Vice President and General Manager, Engineer Chrysler B. Acebo, to turn over to the city government, Cagayan de Oro, the road lots, open spaces, and common areas of Bamboo Lane, located in Barangay Carmen, the city, in accordance with the subdivision laws, rules, and regulations, and authorizing the city mayor to sign the corresponding deed of donation, therefore, here to attach. Move for its approval, Madam Chair.
Any second? Objection. Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second final reading.
Second, objection. Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 10, proposed ordinance number 2026-252, approving the preliminary subdivision development plan of Camp Evangelista Movans Homeowners Association subdivision project located in Barangay Baikingon, the city, with an area of 33,468 square meters containing 309 lots under BP 220 as applied for by Ms. Feliza Vasquez, subject to the conditions imposed by the Office of the City Engineer, Office of the City Planning and Development Coordinator, and the City Housing and Urban Development. May I request Councilor John D. Sakala be recognized?
Councilor Kenneth Sakala, you recognize?
Move for the approval of proposed ordinance number 2026-252. Thank you.
Any second? Objection. Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item, move to approve on second final reading.
Second, objection. Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 11, Turks, please.
Item number 11 is proposed ordinance number 2026-253, authorizing the Honorable City Mayor Lando A. Uy, representing the city government of Cagayan de Oro, to enter into and sign the memorandum of agreement with A. Rotary Club of Makati Paseo de Rojas, represented by its President Rowena Rowaro, and B. Rotary Club of Cagayan de Oro East 1, represented by its President Stephanie Rosalind P. Caragos, covering the augmentation and enhancement of facilities, equipment, and operational capacity of the Women and Childhood Protection Unit of the J.R. Borja General Hospital, this city, under the terms and conditions stipulated therein.
Madam Chair, may I request Councilor Des Dahino be recognized?
Councilor Des Dahino, you recognize?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of proposed ordinance number 2026-253.
Any second?
Second.
Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second final reading.
Second, objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 12, proposed ordinance number 2025-0003, providing for the city, for the Cagayan de Oro City Comprehensive STI, HIV, and AIDS Prevention and Control Program, and for other purposes. May I request Councilor Nicolo Paulo Gani.
Councilor Paulo Gani, you recognize?
Salamat, Madam Chair. Salamat, Attorney Edgar Cabanlas. Honorable Madam Presiding Officer, Vice Mayor Bebot Rodriguez, mga kauban sa 21st City Council, friends from the media, ug sa tanan, ana, diri karong hapuna, maayong hapon sa tanan. I rise to endorse this ordinance for approval, proposed ordinance number 2025-0003, establishing the Cagayan de Oro City Comprehensive STI and HIV/AIDS Prevention and Control Program. 6 years in the making. This measure did not begin with the 21st City Council. It is carried over from the 20th Sangguniang Panglungsod Committee on Health and built further upon years of advocacy by the previous Cagayan de Oro City AIDS Council. We carry their work forward to completion on this day. As of 2024, the Philippines has recorded a massive 555% increase in new HIV infections since 2010, in sharp contrast to the declining trends in neighboring Asia-Pacific countries. Nationally, an estimated 55 new infections occur every day. Dili kinilayo kanato. This epidemic is at our doorstep. This ordinance responds with a structured multi-sectoral program. It establishes the City STI, HIV and AIDS Council, the CAC, uniting the city mayor, this Sangguniang Panglungsod, the City Health Office, DSWD, DLG, DepEd, Department of Health Region 10, and civil society, including persons living with HIV. It mandates education in schools, workplaces, and communities. It builds capacity among our health workers, ensures logistical support for testing and treatment supplies. It establishes monitoring mechanism for accountability and program effectiveness. And labaw sa tanan, it upholds the dignity of every person, ensuring stigma and discrimination have no place in our city's response. To the City AIDS Council advocates who never gave up on this cause, o para kini sa matag kagayanon whose health and dignity depends on us. Dili na nato ipadayon ang ilang paghulat. Let the 21st Sangguniang Panglungsod together with Vice Mayor Bebot Rodriguez finally says that igo na karon na. I therefore respectfully urge this body to approve Ordinance 2025-003. Daghang salamat and God bless Cagayan de Oro City.
Any second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second final reading.
Second, objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby
Carried.
approved. Round of applause for Councilor Paulo Gaani.
Actually, Vice, naang support sa ato ang mga NGOs together with sa wellness center sa ato ang HIV testing si Dr. Ron Romano. Na sila sa likod karon.
Okay, welcome and thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Item 13, proposed ordinance number 2025-0051, requiring comprehensive neurodevelopmental disorder training and for frontline personnel in shopping malls or shopping centers within the city, Cagayan de Oro, and for other purposes. May I request Councilor Maximo T. Rodriguez, Madam Chair, to be recognized.
Councilor Max Rodriguez, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May hapon sa tanan, Vice Mayor Jocelyn Bebot Rodriguez, Majority Floor Leader, City Councilor Attorney Edgar Cabanlas, Minority Floor Leader Aga Suwan, mga kauban sa 21st City Council, guests, friends, and those watching us via live stream. I am the principal author of proposed ordinance number 2025-0051, also known as the Comprehensive Neurodevelopmental Disorder Training for Frontline Personnel Ordinance. This was conceptualized by yours truly after personally observing several disturbing incidents wherein security guards, sales personnel, and other mall employees approach individuals with neurodevelopmental disorders or NDD, such as autism and ADHD, in a matter that aggravates their already tense situation. Naiuban na dili lang tagdon ang pasyente, kung dili ila pang singkahan, mas grabe pang uban kay mamisikal pagyud. While to the perspective of the frontline personnel, they are simply trying to protect themselves and the properties entrusted to them. The person with NDD may be left hurt and confused as they may see it as them just trying to make friends or simply trying to engage the frontliner in some form of play. More often than not, they see nothing wrong with how they act and speak, since that is simply the way they just are. Being able to go out to public spaces must not be traumatic at all. Not to the persons with NDD, nor to the frontliners who are simply trying to make a living. Thus, I author this ordinance with the goal of the LGU being able to provide comprehensive training to security guards, cashiers, sales personnel, receptionists, ushers, and other mall employees that will equip them with de-escalation techniques that will ensure that going to the mall will be an enjoyable and pleasant experience for everyone, especially those with NDD. With this ordinance, frontline employees will be able to know how to approach these individuals with compassion and kindness. This mindfulness will certainly go a long way, especially during instances where someone suddenly experiences a meltdown, a panic attack, or even urges to harm oneself or others in such a public and open area. Many here might remember that this ordinance was meant to include in all public spaces. However, it was determined by no less than our very active majority floor leader, Councilor Edgar Cabanlas, that we start first from the malls, then slowly expand the scope of the ordinance when the time comes, especially public terminals, buses, etc. This way, we will be able to collaborate in crafting a solid and medically sound approach that will soon become the norm across all establishments in our city. I humbly ask my colleagues in the 21st City Council for your support in this endeavor. Akong dakong pasalamat sa mga resource persons na naghatag sa ilang kaalam o oras aron maplastar ang kaning atong ordinansa. I thank the social workers, psychiatrists, legal experts, mall managers, and administrators, as well as my co-chair in the social services, Councilor Paulo Gane. And all those who saw the initial potential of this ordinance and contributed in making this what is today. I would also like to especially thank the medical societies through their representatives who have expressed their willingness to partner with the LGU in ensuring the sound implementation of this ordinance. The Philippine Academy of Occupational Therapists, Philippine Society for Developmental and Behavioral Pediatrics, ADHD Society of the Philippines, and the Autism Society of the Philippines. I look forward to working with you in creating a safe and inclusive space for everyone here in our city. To my colleagues, your approval of this ordinance today will make a positive difference in the lives of disabled Cagayano's who are suffering from neurodevelopmental disorders. Let us work together so that we may truly make CDO the city of golden friendship for everyone, no matter who they are and what their circumstances may be. Daghang salamat sublik, magayang hapon.
Any second objection? Yes, query? Yes, clarification. Yes, Councilor Girly Balaba, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I fully support this ordinance, Madam Chair. But only for clarification, this is for all shopping malls.
Yeah, mall.
Shopping malls. And then the training will be conducted by the city.
Malls.
Yeah.
Malls.
No,
City?
city? Yes, city. So the malls will apply to the CSWD. Which office?
Okay, yes, Councilor Janjan Rodriguez, you have the floor.
As discussed to our several, I think we had 3 committee hearings. It will be conducted by CSWD partnered with our societies, different societies. Then again, some malls, for example, Limket Kai and SM, as well as Ayala, they already presented sila magbayad sa ilang mga talks, no? But then again, from the city budget as well as CSWD, naputay budget for that. Nakita pod tudlo for the de-escalation techniques to our kaning mga employees sa mall. So that would be it. Thank you.
Which office na?
Which office will conduct?
Which office will kung saan mag-apply for training?
CSWD?
They know already. CSWD.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second final reading.
Any second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Madam Chair, for inclusion, may I move to include
Yeah, round of
items-
applause first for the Councilor Janjan
Yeah.
Rodriguez. Pag mahimo mo ang ordinansa, papkakan yun mo. Di ba? So, paspasin yung ordinansa, ha? Anyway, let's proceed. Majority Floor Leader, Attorney Edgar Cabadla.
Item 14. May I move to include items 14 to 15 and 15?
Majority, can
Yes, Councilor Roger Abaday.
can I propose some, I include for inclusion a resolution for condolence, no? Former security officer of Senator Aquilino Pimentel Senior and Junior, no? Coco Pimentel. Police officer Carlito Maestrado, who died just last week. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, proceed, Majority
So-
Floor Leader.
May I move for the inclusion of 14, 15, and 16 items?
Okay, any second objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 14, Turks, that's us.
Item 14 is proposed ordinance number 2026-254, designating the herein specified officials of the city government of Cagayan de Oro as authorized signatories for all transactions with the Land Bank of the Philippines, including their corresponding levels of authority, and the updating and reactivation of the city government bank accounts maintained therewith. These: A. Honorable Rolando A. Uy, City Mayor, level of authority to sign all checks chargeable against the funds of the city government of Cagayan de Oro, except those drawn on the city treasury for expenditures appropriated for the operation of the Sangguniang Panglungsod, and 2. To approve banking transactions as may be required under applicable laws, rules, and regulations. B. Honorable Jocelyn B. Rodriguez, City Vice Mayor, level of authority to sign all checks drawn on the city treasury for expenditures approved for the operation of the Sangguniang Panglungsod. C. Attorney Roy Hilario P. Raaga, City Administrator, level of authority to sign, to approve or countersign checks for the payment of payrolls and vouchers in accordance with applicable and standing issuances and administrative authority. D. Ms. Joanna Marie S. Sanz, Acting City Treasurer, level of authority to sign all checks chargeable against the funds of the city government of Cagayan de Oro, to exercise custody and control over the city government bank accounts, to deposit, withdraw, endorse, and negotiate checks and other financial instruments, and to facilitate authorized banking transactions, including the updating of specimen signatures and customer information with depository banks. And E. Engineer Lionel G. Mistula, Assistant City Treasurer, level of authority to perform the functions of acting city treasurer, including signing of checks and conduct of banking transactions during the latter's official leave or temporary absence pursuant to applicable treasury procedures and standing issuances governing succession and delegation of authority.
Madam Chair, may I request that Councilor Yan Lam Lim be recognized?
Councilor Yan Lam Lim, you recognize?
Madam Chair, I move to approve ordinance number 2026-254.
Any second objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second final reading.
Second objection. Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 15, proposed resolution number 2026-331, congratulating and commending Mr. Kenneth Tan of the Cagayan de Oro Archery Club for winning bronze medal during the 2026 Bear Bow Asia Championship held in Selangor, Malaysia. May I request Councilor Kenneth Jan Sakala be recognized?
Councilor Kenneth Sakala, you recognize?
Move to approve proposed resolution number 2026-331. Madam
Any-
Chair, thank you.
Any second objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second final reading.
Second objection. Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 16, proposed resolution number 2026-332, declaring vacant the position of the chairperson of the Committee on Games and Amusement of the 21st City Council, Cagayan de Oro, subject to styling. May I request Councilor Roger Abaday be recognized?
Councilor Roger Abaday, you recognize?
I probably move that the resolution number 2020 that 392
332.
332 be approved.
Any second?
Yeah.
Objection? Objection? Any objection? None?
No.
Objection, okay. Objection by Councilor Girly Balaba. So we divide the house.
Okay, we
Divide the house. Okay, let us divide the house. Okay, those who are in favor of vacating the position on the Committee on Games and Amusement, please raise your right hand. Agay. I've already declared objection and divide the house. So let's divide the house. Those who are in favor of vacating the Committee on Games and Assessment, please raise your right hand.
Madam Chair, I think there's
Objection, man.
no, I mean, this is not subject to objection because
Oh, delete eh?
the one the one resigning. That's it. That is privilege.
Prerogative, yeah.
You can
So, wala kita'y mahimo, eh. Wala tayong mahimo. Yes, Councilor Girly Balaba.
I was just objecting, Madam Chair, because I have faith and trust in our
See?
colleague, our
And also me.
Councilor Roger Abaday as the committee chair of Games
Amusement.
and Amusement.
Yes.
And if he relinquished this post, I hope na may pagsalig sa imo, ha.
Okay. Okay, Councilor Roger Abaday.
I have already stated that
Okay.
in the
Is that-
principle of shared leadership. So,
Okay.
so I have to share also experience of my colleagues, especially the new one. So my relinquishment is irrevocable.
Okay, revocable ha, di naging mo kahangyo. Okay, way hangyo ay. Okay. So anyway, any objection? Okay. So motion is by carried.
Move to approve second final readings.
Second, objection. Hearing none, motion is by carried.
Item 17, proposed resolution number 2026-333. Our heartfelt condolences to the family of the late Police Carlito Maestrado, former security detail of former Senator Lino Pimentel Sr., subject to styling. A move by the members, all members present and all members gatanan.
Yes.
Okay.
Any second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is by carried.
Move to approve second final reading.
Second, objection. Hearing none, motion is by carried.
There being no other matters to take up, Madam Chair, I move for the adjournment.
Kalma kayo. Councilor Amy. Any second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is by carried. God bless us all.